and shit.
He said, he said you're looking pretty.
Look at this fucking macho. Wait, after my political rant, hold on.
Wait, the rant before we went live?
On the Mids channel the other day, I had to go live on my channel with my fucking motorcycle helmet.
Ooh, that is sick.
That's pretty sick. Your bike is pretty sick. I saw it on Twitter. I was like, damn, how do you...
People are angry because I said if you were born with a dick, you're a dude. Anything else, you're confused, bro. It didn't really go too well.
No. What bike do you have? What bike do you have?
This was on the Mids channel?
Yeah, here's my transgender joke. Are you ready? Transgenders, they're not what they used to be.
Bottom.
That's how you start a show.
Yeah, fucking chill out.
Right. He's like, you don't even need to play any music. I'll just get you copyright striked and demonetized in like 2 seconds.
Well, how was everybody's week?
Yeah, welcome everybody to another episode of
Right here, baby.
Hey, what's up? Say hi to Shane back there. I saw you. I think you're gonna coin that. You were the first person that wrote that on the election night. You were like the Trump pump or something. Okay, so why don't we go back to that? Why don't we just start with that? America has spoken. Where were you guys? Where were you guys when on election night? And what were your guys' thoughts as the night played out?
I'll go first if you don't mind. I was at a political rally for Democrats.
Oh wow! No, tell me about it.
Yeah,
I really want to know.
You were in Arizona?
No, in Texas.
You're in Texas. All right, so you're in Texas. You're at a Democrat.
My brother-in-law is running for a little office down here, and we were at a political rally for that. And as soon as I got there,
what time is this?
Did y'all see the way the stock market performed today?
Today.
Yeah. This was on election night.
Oh, on election day. Yeah. It was
a pre-Trump bump that day, right?
Yeah, as the polls started closing in the different time zones, you saw the overnight trading was starting to go bananas. Yeah.
So I said, Trump already won. We're just waiting on confirmation. And bro, I didn't make any friends that day. Nobody's coming over.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that Elon actually knew that he was going to win 4 hours before?
Yeah, he had a nap.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I don't know what that was all about. Neil, how was that? Were you awake? What time was it? What time was it over in Belgium?
No, so I went asleep. He had won, I think, only 3 or 4 states.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up when they announced Pennsylvania. So I was like, oh, it's going to be a good day today.
Pennsylvania was pretty much it.
They were just waiting for that result anyways, I feel.
Where were you, Heinze? Were you working?
I was at work, just kind of, just letting it, just waiting for results, just kind of watching streams. There was a big stream with like Candace Owens. Forgot where it was, but I was just like in and out of it. Obviously, there you go, PBD. Yeah, there you go. And they were just kind of, doing like live results. So, based on the results, though, it was actually, this is what you would consider like a landslide victory,
man.
So, America. I mean, just like what TJ says when I came on, like I think America has spoken. So
that's why I named the podcast that. I'm like, I think it was absolutely clear.
Yeah,
for months about it needing to be like too big to rig. This went beyond that. I mean, winning the popular vote, I don't think that's been done since Herbert Walker Bush.
What I found interesting though is we pretty much knew which state, the ones that would lean red and lean blue, but in the All In podcast kind of talked about this, was New York voted 12 points less Democrat, and California was kind of just a little bit over 50%. So I think that's really trying to, again, whatever your political beliefs are, it doesn't, all respect to you, nothing against, but that should tell Democrats something, that their rhetoric is not working. Their policies they're trying to pass, the things that they're trying to talk about, it's just not what America is worried about. I'm sure everybody here, we're all worried about our bills. We're worried about how to survive, for the future, uncertain future. And I think that's what this election came down to, is what really mattered to the voters.
Yes, absolutely. This is kind of funny. Your
I think
traffic.
the big takeaway for me was, if you look at the map of like all the states, even obviously there was especially
Let me get
like
the final original map, Shane.
on New York and all those areas. Obviously those are blue still, but I'm talking about even like the states, like the states like California that are blue. There's a lot of areas that are red within those states. So,
Oh yeah,
Everything that isn't the coast was
Yeah.
red.
yeah. I mentioned this last week that technically California has the most conservatives. They have the most conservatives. It's just they're not in areas where the electoral votes will matter. Like very like small towns, they tend to lean conservative.
but
And
can you elaborate? Because I thought the popular vote of the state determined the electoral college of the state, the electoral vote of the state.
well, like
Like,
there's certain areas that matter most.
It's basically wherever the highest concentration of
Yep.
people are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So if
different.
the Bay Area is pretty
draw.
much, for instance, like Bay Area and LA, San Diego, if they're gonna vote blue, you're gonna win the electoral vote.
Because that's where all the people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you look
I
at
mean,
this squad,
if they do a good job in the next 4 years, New Jersey, New York could be very, very interesting in 2028, because it's getting closer and closer and closer. And I mean,
I'm trying to
I
find.
didn't follow New Jersey. Can you tell me more? Because I know New Jersey tends to vote blue.
I mean, look, basically, New York, New Jersey, California, they all still went blue, but the spread was different.
Yep.
So whereas
is there
before,
a map that
by
shows the percentage of Dems versus Republicans in each state? Like,
Yeah,
to
that's
see
what I'm-
how close they are to flipping, if you will.
if
so
I don't know if Shane, if you got that, just put it, just share it. If you could find like the map or the spread.
if you go on Google and you write election USA 2024 results map, you can play around. It's 51.7% Harris in New Jersey. And then in New York, it's 55.8. But if you compare it for,
I mean,
Oh,
this
I
was
see.
this was pretty
Scroll.
tough. Look at this,
Scroll.
guys. This is by
Yeah.
this is
That's
insane.
crazy.
yeah, but these are counties. So counties, from what I've understood, is doesn't really matter that much, because like there's maybe one guy living in that red square there.
Yeah.
Doesn't really tell you much, right? Because
But it does give you an idea of how the state itself split up, because otherwise it would just go based on popular. Like even if you come down, like down here, you can see that you can basically see where all of the actual where the voters are.
I think the
Zoom in
funniest
and look at something like New York or New Jersey.
to me,
but
I think the funniest thing that I've seen so far since after the election was when Biden's wife came out with a red suit. It was she was obviously trolling. She was obviously trolling after.
Sorry, again, I missed you. I missed it.
Wait, what's up?
I'm sorry. Repeat what you said.
Oh no, it was Biden's wife, where she came out with a red suit on election day.
Biden, did you see? People. There's a conspiracy theories, or however you want to put it, that Biden was actually trying to help Republicans this election. That he was.
I think he was hurt. He was hurt.
I can see why he was hurt. He was, in a way, he was pushed out, and then he was essentially irrelevant after basically once he gave up the nomination. He was essentially irrelevant.
Officially, he's still the president of the United States, believe it or not.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It'd be very interesting to see how it plays out over the next couple of months. I mean, do you guys feel like it's almost going too smoothly at this point? Like the peaceful transition of power, that we're just sort of past it, or do you guys feel like there's that we're going to smooth sail and go all the way to inauguration without a hitch?
I think for me, as long as obviously everybody differs in political views. So I just hope it becomes, there's no like assassination attempts. I just hope that everything just becomes peaceful. I know the country is still technically, very divided, but I think what's, one of the things that I think on the Trump side, what they did really good was, they went into a lot of podcasts, right? And it was really telling on how I think America is gravitating towards, more authentic conversations rather than listening to the news. So I'm very hopeful that it's going to be less divided. I would say, with more open conversation, even if people disagree. I mean, that's just my hope.
I would hope so. I'm not as confident in that as you are, but I'm hopeful. I mean, for me, it doesn't really matter. The information, the people that I want to talk to, the information that I want to get, it is existing predominantly in that space, and so I'm fine. And I do think that, yeah, the rest of the country needs to come along. I just don't think mainstream media and celebrities will ever be as important in an election cycle again. And honestly, I think a lot of that is front run by markets. If you look over the last couple of years, more and more of these CEOs have been speaking their mind, and not even just like Elon on that level, but more of them have been doing these long podcasts. Even in the success that Amit's had, being able to get access to these CEOs, that wasn't something that was available even a couple of years ago. And now you see a lot of these guys going to the people on YouTube channels that have sub 100,000 subscribers and sitting with them for 2 or 3 hours and getting the message out. And you're really seeing that's not only it's increasing awareness, but it's also increasing retail participation in markets. You saw that just this last week. S&P hit record highs. Tesla absolutely exploded. Palantir, what the fuck is happening with that stock? How is that stock almost $60? You know what I'm saying? SOFI is maintaining its nice double-digit lead. I mean, this is crazy. So I don't know. That day was insane because I'm watching, obviously the election results, and I'm working. But then my portfolio, TJ, didn't you break 10 million that night?
Yeah.
Because we were on a Mitch channel for a little while. I had to leave to go to work, but I think you broke 10 million. Can you pull it up? That night.
In the meantime,
There we go.
I think the world has also moved on already, towards a Donald Trump presidency. Like, world leaders already are planning ahead. So well,
it was the election. That was that was November 5th.
Dang, what a spike.
Sheesh.
Look at that. What was it up that day? 4 or 5%? It was like 100 something thousand. It was up like yearly salary.
That's
More.
crazy. That is crazy.
That's the Trump pump right there.
And we're still going.
Yeah. But Neil, just
I want to see the reason why I'm TJ the Wheel Deal. There's a reason that I decided that selling calls and puts was my calling, is because I don't know how to hold on to winners otherwise. I'm going to show y'all something. This is a thing called Bitcoin, right? You remember that Bitcoin deal?
We got to talk Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin.
Yeah. Look, I sold everything at 76,000 because I got $20,000 in profit.
Did you really? Right? Did you really? Oh, you
wait! You sold it?
You really did?
Wow.
Thank you, TJ, for selling us your Bitcoin. Why did you sell? I mean, seriously, you held ENPH. You held ENPH from 160 to fucking 90.
I could not sell covered calls on it, so it's just against my little religion, if you will. So that is why I decided that a long time ago, I'm going to sell cash secured puts, covered calls, collect premium, because I don't know how to write up a winner otherwise. Like, I'm just not willing to do it, dude. If I can't collect cover call premium, I'm not going to fucking hold the ass.
I wish you would have told me, man, because I would have said, get your hand off the button.
But I did more than that. Remember I had a bunch of stocks?
Yeah, you paid them down, but that was your
these are only 8 stocks. That's it. So
TJ's great 8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I think the Amazon one to me was the more underrated story. Amazon's been blowing up too.
I exercised the long calls on Tesla.
Yeah.
And this is where the Bitcoin money went, because I needed 225 grand to exercise to cover the long calls on Tesla. So
you took possession?
Yeah, so I exercised, maybe it'll tell me here. I'm not sure how it works. So yeah, somewhere here. I don't know how it works, but I exercised 15 long calls, and it cost 225 grand. So I needed to find the money
Yeah,
somewhere.
find the
right?
money. I
And,
did too. I mean, did anybody else let us know in the polls in the chat? Did you guys make any big moves this week and take any profit? I did. I was sitting on some 330 Tesla calls that I bought a while ago and sold them out at a ridiculous profit. It kind of sucked though, because I had moved my portfolio from E-Trade to Robinhood, and all the cost basis moved over on the shares, but not on the options. So I couldn't really calculate how much in profit I was, but I knew I was in ridiculous profit. It was at least a 6x. But I was like, oh, maybe it's still got room to run, et cetera. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to be that guy that's up 600-700% and doesn't take profit, because I'm not going to be greedy. So I sold them out and converted them to shares, which is good. I mean, I'm happy to take the shares.
So one last thing real quick, Carlos, before we get out of this little thing. This will be the first time if Palantir goes just a little bit higher. Granted, I'm not qualified for all the upside appreciation yet, but this will be the first time that I'm up over $1 million on one stock.
Wow.
On one stock, really? Even Tesla?
Total return right here. So Palantir's at 997, and I'm up 860 on SOFI.
That is crazy. Of all the stocks in your portfolio, I did not think Palantir would be the one to come up.
And it doesn't have that many shares, relatively speaking. You know what I mean? So
Well, what's your cost on that?
Like 17, I think. I don't even remember.
That's a good cost basis. Yeah. Like around
14 calls, 17,
17,
335 expiration, 1220.
But collectively on SOFI, because this is only about a fourth of the position, the entire position.
Yeah.
I'm up like almost 3 million on SOFI now.
Yeah.
SOFI has been such a winner for you. They're gonna build statues of you.
But dude, I freaking sold puts, calls, collected premium. I did this thing. Like,
did you buy that just because of like Tevis and Tanner, like, and those guys, the whole SOFI weekly crew?
Then
like, how did you get introduced to that stock, SOFI?
My son.
Your son. That's right. Okay, your son, and then you got some confirmation from some of the.
Yeah, my son. My son said, "Hey, Dad, this is how banking is going to be done. There's this guy Shamath. He's taking this company public via SPAC. It's IPOE. So he sent me the ticker IPOE, and I started digging. I watched Shamath pump on it, and he brought me Clover Health too, dude. I made quite a bit of money on Clover Health because my
kids these days know what's up.
Yeah, and he said that this is the way the banking's going to be done, and so I'm in a real good spot on SOFI. I'm going to exercise these long calls, the 7s and the 5s. That's why I'm not stressed out about these cover calls, and then I'm monitoring these cover calls at 15 for March, and then everything else is long calls that I'm up quite a bit on. These $10 calls right here on SOFI.
I gotta pick up some more. Did you and tomorrow I will probably be picking up some ENPH calls. We're kind of bouncing around here, but look at the ENPH 160 leaps for 2027 January. They're $8.
ENPH was a tax harvest loss that I took on Friday.
Sheesh, 66.6.
That's what I'm saying. He held all this ENPH from 160, wrote it all the way down, and then he sold Bitcoin for 20 grand profit.
No. So ENPH I sold a while ago. The bulk of it this was a tax harvest loss back in the day, if I could find it. And this is the best move I've made all year, believe it or not. It's right here. This one on July the 16th. I sold 11,000 shares at 115. So if I haven't done that, this portfolio looks drastically different.
You took $1 million in losses. Yeah, but
I owned those shares at 139, and but my adjusted cost basis was like 119 at the time. So it was about a $50,000-$60,000 loss. And then I took a loss on these calls that I bought. It was right before I sold those. I bought these leaps right here. So I took
make it a little bit bigger. Make it a little bit bigger for those of us over 45. Thank you.
I had bought these long calls for 221 grand, and I sold them for 40 something.
That's a big hit.
47.5. So I legit took a loss there because I was looking for a tax harvest. Yeah. But I'm gonna try to buy those back. I'm hoping ENPH will go sideways, if not down, for the next month, and then I want to buy either the long calls, or I'm going to buy 5,000 shares of ENPH at $60. That's the goal, because I don't see a catalyst for ENPH in the next month. So it was very strategic because I really need something to offset the taxes. So ENPH was kind of my
That's why I'm looking at options now, because it's so bearish that those options are incredibly mispriced.
What options are you looking at?
Here, this is someone was asking me if I was looking. This is what I was looking at last night. Can you guys see this? Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a picture, but these are, look at the 160. These are the 160 leaps for 2027, $7. There's not a lot of open interest, not a lot of volume, but I think that's fine for now. That's fine, because you can control a lot of shares. And here's the thing: if you look at ENPH, we can even pull up the chart. ENPH likes to be between that 140, 160 range. It's just comfortable living there. Like, that's a good accumulation phase for the stock. So I think if we get any sort of positive catalyst, depending on how next quarter is, earnings and guidance, it could just sit in that zone for a while as an accumulation phase. So I'm definitely going to be looking at those on Monday.
Yeah, I really needed to stay down here for a month, though. If not, I'm gonna really be hating myself. But at the same time, that there was nowhere else for me to take a tax harvest, because when I exercised,
because all I do is win, no matter what.
When I exercised the long calls, that might have created another taxable event, and then I have these cash secured puts on fucking Clean Spark. I have 1,000 of them at 750 that I've already made like 300,000 on those, and then I've got like about another 80 or 90,000 that I'm going to lock in on those. So that's a big win. I'd already made over 150,000 on Palantir and cash secured put on SOFI as well. So I think I wanted to be able to run a real clean report for the end of November to kind of like estimate my taxes, if you will, for the next year. But I think that realized gains are approaching 3 million for the year, something like that. So I'm like, anything that is not cutting the fucking mustard, bro, now's the time to get it the flying fuck out of the portfolio to help.
We're moving into that part of the year, like middle of basically once December starts, that's when we can see a lot of sell pressure. So that'll be interesting, because we sort of expect a Santa Claus rally, especially as we get closer to inauguration. But you are going to see some serious tax loss harvesting. Me too. Depending on where Bitcoin's at the end of the year, and I'm taking some profit, I'm sitting on I've been just like rolling over some losses year after year, saying I'll cash some of them out this year, depending on where we're at. Let's look here. Speaking of Bitcoin, did you guys see this? And I haven't been able to like independently verify this. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler will resign as 33rd chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission by the end of December, according to an anonymous source. Chair Gensler was appointed by President Joe Biden in 2021 and succeeded Jay Clayton, who resigned in 2020. That's obviously incredibly bullish for crypto. But have you guys heard anything regarding that?
Just a tweet. I think it's the same. It was that one, just referring to the same one.
It's crazy how much of the people are jumping ship. Like, there's a real fear of a new administration now. Let me see if I can do this independent. Can you see if you can independently verify that? I find that in a better publication, Shane. I saw evidence about how he could lose his job, but
well, do you think Trump would let him go anyways?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that. I think it's inevitable anyway. It's like one of those employees that are quitting before they get fired. I think
exactly, and it was encouraging to see that the tweet about Nikki Haley and Pompeo not being welcome in the new administration, that was sort of a concern, and that made me feel like maybe there is real legitimacy to the fact that you are voting for a team, and that the team is actually having influence on the main guy. There's been a lot of posts recently on X about proposals, both policy, foreign policy, domestic policy, policy on crypto. He said several times he's not going to allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Like, if 25% of this stuff actually comes to fruition, we are in for an incredibly good next 4 years. I'm speaking just specifically with our markets.
Do you mind if I share this tweet, Carlos? Because I want to see if I can get some feedback from the panelists, as well as people in the chat, because I like to get to 10 stocks, but right now I'm stuck at 8. So if you could show the screen, please. So I did this earlier. Here's the 8, and then there's a picture of what I just showed y'all. So if you had to add two more, and at what entry point? Right now, I'm sitting on the ideas are Boeing at 140, ENPH at 60, Celsius at 65. I'm always interested in an oil and gas play. Right now, I think Valero is one that I know the most about. But then obviously Warren Buffett was in Oxy, so that one is always in the top of mind. And then there's obviously like the TQQQ, SOXL, TNA, BITX. But these are trading instruments, so I don't know that I'd necessarily want to hold them long term. Or there's just my wife's idea, just buy another 4,500 shares of Amazon and call it a day. There's that.
Neil, I'll let you take that one while I pull up a chart.
I mean, you can't go wrong with another 4,500 shares of Amazon.
Yep.
But I mean, Boeing, yeah. I mean, if they can figure their shit out, then Boeing 140. I mean,
but it really feels like a big if at this point, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it's still Boeing, right? It's either Boeing or Airbus. Plus, Boeing's government contracts are huge, right? We know that. So I mean,
they're trying to sell off the space division. I don't think they want to be in that business anymore.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in that business either if I was Boeing. But yeah, Boeing is quite. I start Amazon 1, then Boeing 2, then maybe ENPH, Celsius down the line.
So
yeah, same thing, TJ.
Her suggestion was Amazon, and then Robinhood. Or let me see if I can pull up.
Real quick, while you do that, I'll just give you my take. I mean, this is all I think that you need to look at. This is Amazon.
Yeah, it's still cheap.
And this is Amazon going back down to 2001. So if we look at let's just see where we're at now. So Amazon from 2001 has essentially been in this channel, and it is up 70,000%. That's 70,000%.
Yep.
And there is nothing to there's nothing to make you believe that it is going to break out of this channel. We saw ENPH in a channel like this. We've seen several companies in these sort of long multi-year trends trending up and to the right, basically bouncing between a specific range.
Well, that essentially looks like the rainbow chart for Bitcoin.
Except the rainbow chart bends. This is just a straight boner, straight up boner to the fucking moon. But the point is, there's nothing to make you think that Amazon would do anything outside of this channel. And if that's the case, just even where we're at, look at where just
your microphone, Carlos. Your microphone.
Check. Too loud?
Yeah.
I'm saying, if you just look at the channel, say here we are. Where are we now? This is November 2024. Just even go out to 1 year. May. Yeah. So even going out about a year, you've got the chart is saying that the high point for this would be around $700. This is a stock that, yes, I also feel I need to develop a better position in. But out of everything that if you only have two, I would say ENPH at $60 and Amazon, maybe do half and half and put some of it into Amazon.
So here's her suggestion. If you could share the screen, her suggestion was, and I have this on equity. Her suggestion was, let me go just a little smaller so we can see all of them. So her suggestion was to make Amazon the largest position in the portfolio by adding the 4,500 or pretty close to it, and then I can just stay right where I'm at, top off PayPal, because I think that PayPal still has some legs, and then maybe double the position in Hood and call it good. And then I can just keep selling cash secured puts here, because I do have some cash secured puts because I'm interested in Boeing. So there's 25 cash secured puts at 150. And then I've got 100 cash secured puts at BITX at 27. And then here's the 1,000 cash secured puts that I spoke of on CleanSpark, but those aren't going to get assigned. And then this is my DGen play. I've got a shitload of cash secured puts on the
Oh my God. Are we still talking about that company?
And then I've got my backstop trade way over here, TSLA, 2,500 cash secured puts at 573, but those aren't going to happen. That's the easiest money in the stock market right there. But this play was like a week or two ago.
Okay, can you explain what this is? I've seen this ticker in my comment section as well. What the heck is this?
TSLA is a 2x leverage play on Tesla. The daily reset though. So Tesla goes up 10, this thing goes up 20 and vice versa. But it resets every day. And there's this thing called NAV erosion, the net asset value. So Tesla goes flat, this thing still goes down a little bit. So
Okay.
so these are really good trading instruments if you feel like there's something bullish on the horizon, but it's not designed to hold these shares long term.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that thing on Amazon? I mean, I'm bullish on Amazon too. Like, I wouldn't mind 100 more shares of Amazon, but there's in some states they're already starting to deliver using drones. They've already got approved of that, where they're delivering with drones. And the amount of delivery trucks, Amazon delivery trucks that I pass by throughout the day, I mean, it's so hard not to be bullish on Amazon. So hard.
Every day I have a package.
It's
up
there's a
every single
package.
day.
I mean, I just drive by neighbor. There's packages everywhere. It's like, I don't think Amazon's not going anywhere. So
To me, it's probably the best company.
One of.
I mean, I live in Europe, so Amazon is not as great as in the United States. It's still very good, right? I order a package, it's probably there tomorrow or the day after that. But I mean, it's just so convenient. The prices are good. It's quick.
It's got a really nice, predictable stock chart. I was just looking up what their free cash flow is, because I mean, if they paid a little dividend, even a small little dividend, that would probably make it.
I wouldn't even care.
You wouldn't care, but it's nice to know that you're getting paid to hold it, right? It's just a nice little extra.
Would you rather have buybacks first?
That's always the debate. I think the dividends would be better, because at the prices that it's at, it does encourage just more share buying, I think, versus the capital appreciate, because then you still need to sell the shares in order to realize that capital. But it's nice to know that you're getting paid and increasing the share count.
I have to pay taxes on those dividends. I rather than buy back more shares, and then my shares are worth more.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like Neil's idea.
What, to buy back?
Yeah, it just makes your shares more valuable, right?
All right, well, we could do both. Everybody could be happy. You could buy a little bit back and just do a little divvy.
Use divvy to buy more Bitcoin or something.
It's not bad.
So wait, can somebody, because I don't want to make it seem like we're ignoring the chat, but somebody asked about Celsius. So, I'm actually, I'm actually pretty bearish on these kind of things now, on these plays, just because Trump is going to be working with RFK, and as you guys know, RFK is a big advocate on having good food, nothing processed, and I mean, I don't own any Celsius. I don't drink it, I don't consume it, so I don't know if you guys have any takes on what will the kind of the food industry is what's gonna happen moving forward with with the new administration. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Neil? Are you in this one?
I mean, do you have Celsius? Anybody here have Celsius?
Yeah, I have a small position in Celsius. I mean, I know RFK is all about healthy food and all of that, but I mean, you'll have to make a very, very big case against Celsius that if you drink one a day, it's bad for you, right? Okay, if you drink 10, 20, then it's your fault. Like it's like if you eat 10 kilos of McDonald's and fries, it's bad for you. You're not going to ban McDonald's because of that. So I don't know. Energy drinks are fine if you know how to control yourself by only drinking 1 or 2 a day. Will he make some changes with regards to the caffeine that is allowed into the cans? Maybe that might be something, because I think Celsius has way more than Red Bull in one can. So maybe that's one thing, but overall, I don't think it's going to be such a big deal when it comes to Celsius. I think he's going to focus on other stuff first, pharma and things like that, in my opinion.
I agree, and he's said as much. His whole thing is not to ban anything, but it's just to give people the information. So even if it ends up being that these companies, say Monster or Celsius, need to put something on the can that lets you know exactly what's in them on the front of the can, I don't think that's going to deter people. I mean, people did that with cigarettes for whatever. You go to McDonald's and they tell you the calories, people are still eating that. So it's just more about being transparent and letting people know what they're putting in their bodies.
I mean, cigarettes literally tell you it kills.
Yeah.
And people still buy it. So yeah, I don't think an energy drink with a nice mango passion flavor is going to be the end of the world.
Although I gotta say, this podcast is brought to you by Red Bull, the Red Edition. It is so fucking good. Anybody in the chat drink this stuff? Anybody know what I'm talking about here?
I think the last time I had a Red Bull was with
brother, it's crack.
Back when I was like 22, maybe, or 23.
Yeah, that was a drink of choice back in the day, and obviously we've all had like vodka Red Bulls and whatnot. But this is the first time I actually found myself like really just drinking it at home. It's just so absolutely delicious and does what it's supposed to do. Even though like now that you said that, was it like last week or 2 weeks ago? I keep thinking, fuck, man, Heinz, he was like, my kidneys, man, my kidneys. He's telling me, watch out.
Just watch your kidneys, man. Just water, you know. just don't, try to dilute it a little bit.
So the recent pump in crypto, what do we think? This is not ETF buying. This seems to be a country.
Yeah.
Any speculation? I got some tweets here I want to pull up.
The US of A?
No, I don't think it's the US of A, at least not yet. But although,
are you talking about Bitcoin or just crypto in general?
Bitcoin specifically.
Oh, Bitcoin. Yeah.
This one. That one. Just some tweets that I've been seeing, and I'm saying myself, this
that
is
candle, dude.
Yeah, these are no joke. Look at this.
Insane.
BTFs aren't even open. BTC ETFs aren't even open today. Most likely, this is a country buying. This is
Oh man.
Yeah. Who do you think becomes the world's first trillionaire? Michael Saylor or Elon Musk?
Elon.
You think Elon or Michael Saylor? What? You know how much Bitcoin he's holding? You think Elon? Interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it ever happens, it's probably him.
What does the price of what was the price of Bitcoin have to be for Michael Saylor to achieve?
Let's look it
being
up.
a trillionaire.
Let's look it up. But I know that Tesla would need to go to 3 trillion. Tesla would Tesla would need to be NVIDIA.
That's it?
Yeah, because he owns about 30% or so of Tesla, let's say. So if it's a trillion, he'd have to go up about 3. He's at the end. He's worth 300 billion. Yeah, so more than a 3x from here. Say a 3.5x. So say 3.5 trillion, and he's a trillionaire.
Somebody asked if Elon owns I'm pretty sure he owns Bitcoin.
Personally owns Bitcoin? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I don't
he
think Tesla
does.
owns anymore Bitcoin.
Yeah, but he owns Doge. He owns more, I think.
He's the Doge father.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, here's a great thing about people that, if understanding the Bitcoin dominance, right? So right now, let me just pull up a chart actually. Do we all know what like the Bitcoin dominance is? Have we discussed that at all?
Yeah,
I evidently don't know enough about it, bro. I just sold 1.7 Bitcoin, so I can't sell calls on it. I don't give a shit.
All right. I'll just try to explain it in a. Just pull up a chart real quick. So essentially, Bitcoin dominance, TJ, is the ratio of Bitcoin's market cap to the total crypto market cap. When Bitcoin's market cap is more than say 60% of all of crypto, that's considered like a top. This is if you follow Benjamin Cowan. So if we look here, I actually played this. I was not a big fan of his, and I wasn't like a big believer, but he's been proven right several times that I actually just decided to play these trades. So if you look right now, this is Bitcoin's market cap compared to the total of crypto. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 59.21% of all of the money in crypto. So typically, we don't really get much higher than this. So what does that mean? Like on the trading side, what that means is that if Bitcoin continues to go up, the price of Bitcoin continues to go up, and it's at 60% dominance, and it's never going to be more than 60% dominant, it follows that all the altcoins must rise.
Right.
Otherwise, if they didn't rise in price, Bitcoin would continue to be more dominant, right? So the idea is you don't buy altcoins when they're dominant, and you don't really want to be buying Bitcoin when that's dominant. So it's insane how we've seen Bitcoin hit the 60% dominance, right? We had the week of election, and typically whatever that low of the week is, we never see again. Bitcoin is now rising and went from 66 to 80 something in a week. It is pulling all of the altcoins up with it. If you look at any of the altcoin charts, pull up any of the altcoin charts, they're all pumping along with it. So this could be, or maybe is the start of our alt season. And it's great because I bought some more Ethereum before this was over. I kind of topped off my Dogecoin and some Cardano, and they're all doing really well.
So I heard something from that Tevis said a while ago on a podcast that not your keys, not your crypto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Robinhood doesn't give you anything. So essentially, I feel like it was just like owning Robinhood's Bitcoin. It didn't really feel like.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Take that Bitcoin off of Robinhood's ledger and put it into like a cold storage wallet. First of all, I wouldn't know how to do that, period. I can't fucking connect the Bluetooth on the rowing machine. But I'm just saying, like, I was just like, I feel like it's just a trade. So I just traded it. It didn't feel, it never felt like mine, if that made any sense. It never felt like mine, whereas I've owned Bitcoin previously when I was day trading on Coinbase. And that one felt more like, hey, this is my little batch of Bitcoin. And then with Robinhood, I never felt like, how am I ever going to like fully take control of that Bitcoin, if you will?
But do you plan on buying something with it?
No, I just, but then also, and then this is just another thing, more boring, I guess, if you will. It's also a pain in your fucking ass when you do taxes and you've dealt with crypto. Like there's an extra 2 or 3 layers of taxes. Then it's like an extra like $1,500 in filing fees for me. So I was like, I don't want that.
But why? Shit. But why? If you didn't, just for holding it?
No, I'm saying like whenever you've traded crypto, like I just created like 3 extra pieces of paperwork for the accountant because you have to do more shit on your taxes. And I was like, you know what? I just don't want to live in that world. Like me personally. And I'm like, I like simplicity.
But I don't know. That seems like a pretty low priority reason not to own an asset class.
Well, I just
that's like I don't want to buy a house because I don't want to buy a house because the mortgage paperwork is like
my number one reason. There was $133,000 capital and I couldn't collect any revenue on.
Well, that's the thing that you're spoiled based on that. You're spoiled because you're seeing that as dead.
But I mean, it would have gone up another 6, 7, 8,000, whatever the hell it was since I've sold it. So that's much better than I would get in covered call premiums. But I just have a real hard time buying a rental house and not being able to collect rent, period.
Yeah.
You know? It just doesn't work for me. That's why I can never just hold any asset. That's why I sell puts and calls. I can't just hodl for the sake of hodling aside from in the 401k because I don't even look at it over there. But in this account,
no. But then why wouldn't you see it as basically a 401k position that's not in the 401k? Like Bitcoin is just, you're not going to be selling calls and puts on it.
So I thought so.
You're going to get some serious
buying some in another instrument, but
what the
I feel like I'm buying at the top now. I mean, how much higher is this thing going? Is it doing the 150? Like, what are y'all saying now?
Well, if you listen to Tom Lee still thinks that we're going to see triple digits. I'm going to pull up a tweet. I actually had a whole conversation with Amit about this. I do think that, look, every $10,000 that it crosses, it requires it's less of a percentage jump in order for to hit that next 10,000 milestone. And the fact that there's very little like in the news about Bitcoin being $70,000 or $80,000 right now, to me it feels like we've gotten so comfortable at these levels. And I think the next major milestone for it is the $100,000 psychological barrier. If we break that and we are now in the triple digits, that's when I actually think this FOMO will kick in this cycle. And if we can normalize prices in the $110,000 range, then I think what you're looking at is true price discovery. That's when you get people, a brand new cachet of people coming in. I mean, and including countries. That's where I really think the countries start to get involved. As a lot of these countries have printed themselves into oblivion, part of the American strategy right now, at least in a new administration, is to use things like Bitcoin to help service some of this incredible debt. So what do you think happens if you send that signal? I mean, what are they talking about buying? 1 million Bitcoin? Wasn't that that would be like what, $8 billion right now? I think that's what it was discussed. Can you look that up, Shane? What the promise, how many Bitcoins they were talking about getting? And I think it's 1 million, which would be an 8 billion inflow. It would be insane. By the way, my seller needs needs a $56 million as a Bitcoin to be a trillionaire.
That's more ridiculous than 4,000 for Tesla with Chucky.
That's insane. But that's at current ownership. The dude is continuing to buy.
Well, what percentage is he of MicroStrategy? Because is he really buying, or is MicroStrategy diluting it by?
Well, I'm sure he's doing both. But MicroStrategy themselves is one of the top 10 holders of Bitcoin. Let me see. Yeah, if you look at this. So yeah, in the chat, what were your biggest winners this week? Curious to see how everybody else's week was. My week was phenomenal. This was one of those like freaking unicorn weeks. Like everything that I care about was all pumping. Majority of my net worth is in the stocks and crypto that pumped this week. It was awesome.
I sold off some swing trades, some Bitcoin miners that I didn't really care about.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I'm worried about though is the Clean Spark thing of why it halted for 2 days. That's the one I'm a little bit. I don't know if that's a bullish or bearish signal. So
I have a buddy who works there. Dude, there was definitely a clerical issue on the warrants.
Yep.
And he thinks that. I mean, he doesn't know for sure, but he thinks that they'll definitely be trading Monday, no later than Tuesday. There's nothing wrong with the company.
Yeah.
Nothing of the sort. It was just literally just a fucking accounting fuck up.
But the thing is, a lot of people lost money on calls on Friday, right? I think that a lot of people complained about that.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, man. Like my cash care puts are for January of 2025. I know there's a lot of people that had like stuff that was in the money and they weren't able to buy the close or anything.
Yep, that was I think that was the issue.
Yeah.
How nice was it to see this going there, to see the 300s again, and a solid. It's comfortably into the 300s right now.
It's crazy.
I didn't buy enough, as always. Same thing.
Always.
I didn't buy
Whole
enough.
Mars had an interesting take on this. He's like, whenever you see these sort of pumps, and it looks like we are breaking out after like a period of consolidation, this usually leads to a lot of people sitting in profit, which leads to a lot of purchases of Tesla vehicles, which leads to great numbers in the following quarter, which leads to more capital appreciation. And this is what sort of starts the opposite of the doom loop on the upside. And I tweeted something. Tesla's up 35% this week, and I had tweeted something here about
the lawfare
earlier. That now we see that there was basically a lawfare weight on the stock. Because we've been talking for months now about is Tesla valuation like way too high? Is it overstretched at this point? And I think we realize now that there's been a lot of what we've been seeing is just the effect of bad narrative, or when the CEO has a tumultuous relationship with the administration regulating it.
Well, or the big one, right? We talked about this in this podcast about like how Elon's getting too political and he's not focusing on Tesla, or he's not focusing. I mean, this is one of those things where you're like, okay, at this point, still doubting Elon is probably not a good move. So
someone calculated the ROI on the money he spent in the campaign. Was it 50 million? And he made 40 billion in a day.
Yeah.
So I think he spent 50 million to make 40 billion in a day. That is a sick ROI.
Yeah.
Well, he did spend 44 billion on X, on Twitter. So
and that's
I guess
yeah, but you got to tweet about that. Pull up your tweet about that. No, because you actually tweeted the opposite.
No, I'm saying the return is even better.
Right. Okay, I thought I was going to say, yeah, because you did tweet that. Where is that?
Yeah, no, the return is even better. He bought a social media company for 44 billion, but got a president in the White House in return.
I still think that whole, we had this discussion weeks ago or months ago, where I think that, Elon buying Twitter, I mean, and it was brought up, it was brought up in this election that him buying Twitter was a very monumental move. It was
instrumental. I don't think that the results would have been the same if he didn't buy it, because it happened early enough in the cycle where there was enough time for information to get out and people to have those conversations. And then you needed a lot of the technical advancements of the app to be able to support things like proper podcasting and video and fixing the spaces. I mean, there's a lot of other work that needed to be done. So had he have only bought Twitter, say 6 months ago, I don't think it would have made a difference.
No. They made him buy Twitter.
And that's another thing about it. Yeah, that's true. That's another thing was people, you're seeing a lot of complaints that he is basically putting out a lot of disinformation or allowing a bunch of hate speech. He was forced to buy this, and that's got to be something that stings on the other side, where it's like he actually tried to get out of the deal. But it goes to show that I think there was a belief there really was a belief that the platform was going to fail, and he was going to fall on his face and lose a bunch of money. But everyone that's worked with Elon on a close level has said that when he gets singularly focused on something, whether it's making Twitter profitable and successful, or getting electric vehicles, or getting Starship off the ground, whatever it is, when he's singularly focused, or in Pennsylvania getting people out to vote, he just absolutely does not quit, and it doesn't make sense to bet against him. You see Bill Gates now walking back some of his stuff.
And all the complaints are, oh, Elon, billionaire, putting way too much money into politics, blah, blah, blah. He's basically beating them at their own game with actually less money, right? If you look at the difference in campaign spending between Harris and Trump, it's like night and day. He spent over $1 billion.
Is there any credence to that? Is there any credence to that, that the Harris campaign is actually in debt?
Because I think it was like 1 billion, dude, like presidential stuff alone. I think
1.3.
I think they spent like 1 billion or something, and then the Republican side only did like 300 million. Crazy. And they were able to win.
But it was also the percentage of the campaign funds that went to staff.
Yeah.
It was a massive difference. It was like 10 million versus 500 million. 500 million out of a 1.3 billion was just staff, like payroll. That just seems like it's fake.
I mean, that's that kind of tells you the amount of spending and one side does over the other. I mean, it hasn't been that one of the criticism is overspending on the Democrat side. They're known for that, right? And then they say by the end of the year, oh, we created jobs, GDP's up, so same old.
Way too many bots. Yes, there have been a lot of bots, but did you notice that the bots have subsided since the election went away? Have you noticed that even on YouTube comments, you don't get as many hateful comments? I feel like maybe some of that was just both sides ramping up and having bot farms, because it really seems to have calmed down since then. I don't know. What's your guys' experience on your feed?
All my bots are hot, so I just block them off.
Say what?
All my bots are hot, so I just block them. Like, yeah, you're a bot. Like
Harris campaign paid for a lot of the lower races, not only on Harris, but still 500 million. I mean, and I'm sure the Republicans paid for races down ballot as well.
I mean, would you rather have an administration that can spend efficiently, or one that overspends and doesn't even get results?
That's the question. That is the question.
Going back to the bot thing,
but I did see a statistic about that. But didn't it seem wasn't there some shadiness regarding some of the vote, at least in Arizona? How some of what's happening with respect to the ratio between presidential elections and the down ballots just seems statistically impossible. You guys heard any about that? We'll see what comes out this week.
I saw the Republican won 4 seats, in the Senate or something like that.
So
overall.
what?
Didn't the Republicans win 4 seats in the Senate overall?
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad.
Yeah, from what I understand, they have a full sweep at this point, right? They'd be walking with a full sweep. So that'll be interesting to see, because then there's no excuse. You can't make any excuse if anything doesn't go your way. You have to take all of the credit, but you also have to take all of the responsibility if things don't go your way. So it'll be very interesting to see. But not for the Congress seat. Yeah, interesting. What's up, everybody? Mine has gone down some. I've been a bit more. I've been just needing to get off of politics, getting out of politics, and sort of getting off and touching grass. I mean, even now, we're going to do this podcast. I'm out of here. I'm going to go hang out with my kids for the rest of the day. I did want to play this, you guys. While we're on the topic, I feel like we should. Oops.
By the way, is Tesla worth $1 trillion today?
Is it worth $1 trillion?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Are you asking that question, or what do you?
Yeah, I'm asking you guys.
What do you think, TJ? Is Tesla worth $1 trillion?
It is based on the market cap.
I can see how what you pay today. You pay today for what you think it'll be worth. A year or two from now, right? Invest. I can totally make a more compelling case of why Tesla has so many levers to pull and so many verticals that are yet to be realized to be worth $1 trillion. Way easier than I can defend Palantir's valuation. So let's just call that.
Palantir's valuation has grown by way more.
I think both of them are overpriced and overvalued for what they are today. But I also think that it's a hell of a lot easier for Tesla to grow into their valuation of $1 trillion than for Palantir to grow into a valuation of $120 billion right now.
But Palantir just, if I'm not mistaken, they just signed a contract for $500 million. I think isn't that one of their biggest contracts ever?
Yeah,
not $1 billion.
I don't know
wasn't it $500 million over $500 million over 5 years? I saw something that they had just won a contract, which I'm assuming was one of the biggest contracts that they have ever landed.
I think I saw something for the Navy for close to $1 billion.
Maybe that's what I'm missing. Oh yeah, 1 billion. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big leap from the $1 or $2 or $3 million contracts that they've been making. Now, granted, it is federal spending, but honestly, like, I'd like to see more of it on the commercial side. But that 1 billion is good. It's a good contract. Like when it's government money, it's good. It's done. It's paid for. So, are you still feeling like they're going to have a problem growing into that valuation?
Well, I mean, just look at me. I'm old school, right? So I think valuations matter. And so, like, I look at these types of things. If you want to show the screen real quick.
Yeah.
I look at simple stuff, metrics that are available, like on stock analysis. And like
what's the PE? What's the PE now? 7,000? What's the PE?
Look at this.
Higher than the stock price.
Look at that shit. I mean, come on. 292. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Like a couch investor talks about this kind of shit on his channel. He can walk y'all through what a PE ratio really means more than I can.
And Tesla's at 88.
And Tesla's at 88, bro.
Tesla's at 88.
I mean, it's fucking comical. Like if Neil could give us like a little layman's definition for the folks like me that aren't so smart. I mean, dude, it's 292, bro. We're not. This is like asking us to be alive for 2140 for fucking Bitcoin to get 21 million.
To see the last Bitcoin mined.
I'm just saying, like, dude, these values at some point, these metrics are going to matter. I don't know when that is, but can you walk us through the P ratio and stuff, Neil? Because I've seen you do it on your channel a few times.
Yeah, no, I mean. The PE ratio, I mean, for a company like Palantir, remember, like just over 12 months ago, there was no E, right? There was no E.
That's
so of course it's high today because they're just starting to become.
It was just a P.
It was just a P.
Just a P with no E.
No, but if you look at the forward PE, that's like slashed in half almost.
Yeah.
So they're expected to become more and more profitable. I mean, free cash flow wise, that's much better right now than just earnings. But yeah, it's extremely expensive, and they have to grow. To me, they have to grow at 30% or more to justify the price. I mean, okay, it's now $58. It's very, very expensive, right? I mean, for $40-something, 30% growth could be maybe justifiable a little bit, but the market does not believe they can grow at 30% for this year or even next year. They just have to prove us wrong. But yeah, it's definitely not I love the company. I'm up a lot, but I'm definitely not buying at $58 today.
Wasn't the guidance 30% year over year?
No, right now, not no.
What did Carp guide for? I thought he guided for 30%.
No, he said he's confident that they can continue to grow at the same rate. So this quarter we grew at 30% year over year. So next quarter maybe 30% as well. But their guidance does not indicate even 30%. Consensus numbers is 27% year over year growth. Palantir's number is actually 26% or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, for next quarter. So maybe they're just sandbagging it, and they're going to come up with another 30% year-over-year growth. So I don't know.
I'm sorry. The P, just the P ratio, the P per pound here, P per price. That was just funny. When you said that there was no E. So do you think, or how probable do you think Elon works with CARP and Palantir Software to help find waste within the government at the Department of, the Doge? They sat next to each other at the AI summit.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but
They
I
sat
was
next
thinking
to each
about
other. You
that.
saw that, right? He was sitting there.
Yeah.
to be
He was
honest,
sitting there, and he's like, nice hair, and he's like, nice rockets. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but to be honest, I think all four of us can go into the government right now, look at the papers, and we can probably find $1 trillion to save, right, without any software. It's just you look at the payments that go left, right, and center to friends and family of politicians, and you can cut some budgets there. But
Right. Or you look at it, you ask somebody, I want to know what $130,000 bolt looks like. That's what some of these things they're charging $90,000, $100,000 for like a $2 bolt.
man, the F-35 contract, yeah,
22 million, right?
no, 1.2 trillion it's going to cost when it's done. The contract.
F-35. Oh, that's ridiculous.
1.2 trillion for F-35s. It's insane.
Yeah.
That can't be. That just can't be sustainable.
No.
Like what the $1 trillion for a single plane? Yeah, that's gonna get cut down. That's gonna get cut down. They're all gonna be made out of melted Cybertrucks. We're gonna have these fucking flying Cybertrucks just dropping them on countries. So what are you guys thinking here? We'll end on this. We're at an hour. We'll end on this. Do we keep running from here, or do we have like a big pullback? We're in November now, so we're basically, again, we're talking about Santa Claus rally. A lot of the election now has been baked in. Do we continue to run? Do we start to pull back in the face of tax loss harvesting? What are we thinking here for the rest of the year?
I think it's going to be a common. I think we're ultimately going to go up into the right. I think Santa's coming to town. If you're on the list, he checks it twice. I think you're going to get your presents. But I do think that it's not going to be. It's going to be very choppy because there is a lot of people that you get frustrated, right? You get fatigued holding on to stocks that aren't running, so you start trying to like time the market and shit. That's why I don't watch CNBC anymore, because I'm finally cured of shiny object syndrome, and when I have withdrawals, you get caught in that shit by watching an episode of CNBC, because they're constantly dangling the next carrot in front of you, and that's how they try to sucker dumb money into losing money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, what about that one? Oh, what about that one? Oh, what about that one? Because they're just fucking looking for shit to talk about. So I think it's important to formulate an investment thesis and be able to write it out for 3 to 5 years, and that's why I hunkered down on the stocks that were the highest conviction for me. And I got rid of the shit that it was Marks. It was NVIDIA, CrowdStrike, shit that I believed in. But I didn't believe in it to the tune of $500,000, because that's like the bar now. Like if I'm not willing to buy $500,000, I should be willing to buy $5, because at some point you're fucking around. You know what I mean? And I don't want to play a game called fuck around and find out. Because
no, I don't want to be finding out.
I don't want to play that game, you know? So if I'm not looking at a dip as a legitimate opportunity on that ticker, I don't need to be in that ticker, period. So I think that there's going to be a lot of reshuffling. I think that the small caps might finally have their fun in the sun, if you will, or their run in the sun. That's an opportunity. I think that
small cap is essentially like the altcoin, the alt season, right? When you look at how much the Mag 7, their dominance of the overall market, when there's just a ton of profit. I mean, a lot of people are sitting in profit now. What do? They start looking down at these little companies in the Russell and whatnot. They start looking at their little favorites, their Rocket Labs down there, and start throwing some cash. So,
but
there could be a rotation at the end of the year.
I'll tell you the one thing that a lot of hedge fund managers are doing, and that I'm doing also in the hedge fund, possibly in this portfolio as well. It's a higher level play for stocks that you think that are extremely overvalued and that are absolutely due for a pullback, and you want to lock in some profits. It's going to create obviously tax implications for you. So if you want, I can share that trade. It takes like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's on our beloved Palantir. So we go over here to Palantir. You can lock in some wins.
What are the options? How are the options priced on that?
So I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not, but whenever you're underwater or covered calling, you don't want to wait until expiration. You're like, fuck, well, it's inevitable. They're going to take your shares away from you, and you just want to like liquidate. You can close out the covered call and immediately sell the shares, and you end up losing like only like 1% of what you were going to get if you just waited it out. You know what I mean? So you can fast forward some of these events. So one thing that I am considering doing here is closing out this entire position and buying long calls on Palantir, but only to control 10,000 shares at like $30 January 2027, hope for a pullback, and then I can average down on those covered calls. And then I can redeploy that money somewhere that I don't think is as overvalued or as stretched, if you will. And then you still maintain the exposure to your beloved stock. If it continues to run, well, those long calls that you just bought are going to print quite a bit in comparison to babysitting these covered calls for the next, 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that would free up a shitload of money in the portfolio, because I could close out all of these covered calls right here. It's going to cost $742, but I'd immediately be able to sell those shares for 1.4, and then I can take about $200,000 and buy a bunch of long calls at $30 for January of 2027.
But you would buy the long calls now. Well, I guess
I would want to buy 200, but I would only buy 100 in case if the euphoria continues. Because you don't want to. Because the reason people don't sell is because they don't want to miss out, right?
Missing on the party.
Yeah. So you're still able to participate to the tune of, in my case, it would be 100 leaps, which is going to give me more than being underwater on these cover calls anyway. So I'm able to participate there, but I'm actually hoping that it comes down to something more reasonable, and then I can average down on those covered calls, and I can run a poor man covered call campaign on those. I'm still able to collect premium on those, because here there's no premium being collected anymore because I got my ass kicked on the covered calls. There's other ways to maneuver whenever you get underwater if you have the capital and the conviction, right? And a little bit of know-how. So there's a lot of folks that in my circle, right, hedge fund managers who sell options, they're underwater on a company that's extremely overvalued in their mind, and we're in the collective. Like we think that pound shares has run up crazy. So we're going to be looking at taking profits, but maintaining our exposure via long calls, and hope that those get their ass kicked so that we can, holy shit, we just got bigger. Here we go.
Like a fucking boy band.
Okay.
I lost height. Everything you say hits differently when we're all like this. I'm like,
so I think that's going to happen. There's going to be some profit taking on some of these very popular stocks that might be a little bit stretched, but I don't know. We'll see. What's y'all's take, man?
So
That's just
I just want to say this. Jonathan Sargent, I think, is echoing what a lot of people think every time that you talk. Man, I got to learn options. If you don't know, TJ has released this incredible seminar that he's working on. He's also working on a book. Send it to me. It's really good.
I gave you a sneak peek on the book, bro.
I'm saying it's my shitter book. I'm just sitting there like learning stuff, and I got to say, it's like the information is really great. But one of the things that I think you'll like about TJ is that the way he gives you the information, it's very much like this. It's written very much in the same voice that he's got on the podcast. So it's just like a friend explaining it to you. It's not some guy sitting there on a whiteboard or some guy in a suit and tie, with a lot of big words and a lot of terms you don't understand. It's very a common sense approach to what he does, to his strategy, the wheeling. And I think, look, the results speak for itself. So if you want to learn options, I think you've got to, this guy right here is the guy to learn from. I learned a tremendous amount from him. And actually, even you, like the way that you would break down the Greeks, even that, like now that I got my portfolio on Robin, you have helped make me a smarter investor. So I want to say thank you. And if you want to learn options, that, TJ is your guy for sure.
For selling options, I'm not as good as buying options. I would defer to
That's all right, though.
Like Jesse Dow on that.
Yeah, Jesse's another absolute beast in the space. So I think we want to end on this. Let me just share this because our boy, can you guys see this?
Dude, he bought a Model Y.
Did you
dude.
see this?
Is that what happened?
Listen.
To get a new Tesla Model Y. I was test driving.
There you go.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday morning. A couple weeks ago, I posted a video on Twitter talking about if I was going to get a new Tesla Model Y. I was test driving it. And as of 3 days ago, I have officially got a white on white Model Y. I just want to take the next minute to 2 minutes to talk about my experience in this car after 3 days of officially being a Tesla car owner. And this is honestly the first time I've really driven in a Tesla. I think a couple times I've been in an Uber for Tesla, but this is, you know, first of all, congrats to Tesla shareholders, 320, incredible run. I think I now officially understand why in 2017 and 2018 so many people were bullish about this company. This experience has been an experience like I've never had with a car. I mean, this car, I don't know if magic is the right word. I don't know if spaceship is the right word. I don't know what I'm driving, but I'm not driving a car. I'm driving an experience. It feels like an experience.
Congratulations. That was pretty awesome.
Wheels, bro. It's an iPhone with wheels.
Yeah, it's an iPhone with wheels. That was insane.
Dude, talk to us about yours. You posted something because I did a little thing like, let me see your whip. What do you have now? Is that
I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you.
Some thick ass black wheels. What is that?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I did. Let me go to where was that? That was a reply to you. Let me see. Where did I reply that? I'll just pull it up. All right, I'll see you in a minute. She got a boo-boo. I'm gonna give her a little band-aid in a minute. Here it is. You want to show my friends? Okay. She was talking to a bit. Okay, everybody. She wants to show her boo-boo. Show them your boo-boo.
Oh, give it a kiss. Carlos, be a good dad, bro.
It's bleeding. Yeah. All right, I'll give you a besito.
All better now.
When I get done, we're gonna put on some medicine and give you. Amit is not there. That's Heinzie right there, and that's Neil, and that's TJ, and that's me and you.
That TJ looks like
Joe Rogan.
TJ and Heinzie and Neil.
TJ looks like
Okay, let's go.
He wants to roast him, but doesn't know.
I know. I just don't know what's gonna come out of her mouth. She said some, kids. They say that like the two people that tell the truth is like
honest, bro. They're too honest.
Holy shit! Did she just say some really honest shit the other day? That got me really, really nervous. All right, so let me share this thing. So I'll tell you what I ended up doing. There it is. Right. So this is what I bought.
Ooh.
So I ended up
the wheels, bro. Those are not Tesla wheels, right? Did you go to Pimp My Ride, or how did that happen?
No, these are, and this is okay. This is the thing. We talk about this for a second. These are $7,000 rims on a freaking. These are 22s with
Bitcoin kids. That's the way you can get it. There's no fucking way I'm spending $7,000 on wheels, bro. What the hell's wrong?
I didn't buy them though. That's the thing. I didn't buy them. So essentially, look, I had my Model X and my Model Y. My Model X was costing way too much money. I had bought it at the peak of like the supply chain issues. So I was paying almost $2,000 a month for this car, realizing that I'm just driving back and forth to the gym and picking up my kid from daycare. So we downsized to one vehicle. And we had the Model Y, which is fine. Then I had a second kid. Now I've got 2 car seats in the back. And my wife's mom's thinking about coming to town. And my mom's thinking about coming to town. Doesn't make sense. I can't fit everybody in the car. So I said, I've been wanting to get back into Model X for a while. And I started looking up some used ones. Believe it or not, like you want to talk option mispricing. Some of the pricing for these used Teslas are just so off because people don't even know what they have. So I got a 2020 Model X with like 50,000 miles on it for $200 more than I was paying for the Model Y. With $7,000 rims and FSD. They didn't even know that it had FSD, which was like an $8,000 or $10,000 option back then.
That's crazy.
So a lot of these dealers don't even know. Like a lot of these dealers, I bought this from like a Hyundai dealer in Huntington Beach, and they didn't even know what they had sitting there. And I'm like looking at the price. I was like, all right, I'll go down and do a test drive. I'm doing a test drive, and I'm showing the guy things this car can do. I put it in ludicrous mode because he didn't even realize it had that. It was like in chill. I was like, this is what neck snapping acceleration's like. Oh, this is FSD. There's so many things he didn't know about the vehicle itself that I'm like, wow, I really.
The Tesla dealer, yo.
Did you keep the commission?
Well, I got a good deal in it. Like I said, this is about $200 more per month than I was paying for a 2022 Model Y. So the 2020 Model X Performance with 50,000 miles. So it has maybe 20,000 miles more than what the Model Y had. But the Model Y's, rims and tires were destroyed. I would need to replace those anyway. So for the price of getting the Model Y back to zero, I upgraded and was able to get this. And now I have the space that I need, right? I have all the space to be able to take the kids back and forth to school, the convenience of those gull wing doors, space for my family if both of our moms come to town. And I'm just sitting on those rims, and you can't see them, but it has these beautiful, like the big bright yellow calipers.
Does it have the extra row in the back and all that stuff? Like how many people fit in this car?
6.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show you. I have a picture of it to see the 6.
And it looks like the white interior, right? Is that what?
Yeah, it's the white interior. Now I had the cream interior before, and I was all about the cream interior. Don't get me wrong, I love the cream interior, but something about the white is really nice. So this is can you see these are the
the brakes.
Yeah, check it out. I'm gonna remove this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's got these really nice, the really nice yellow calipers in there, and then this is the configuration, TJ.
Oh yeah, dude, that's clean.
So you can see now I got
some sort of Scotch guard on this for the seats, or because I think the white looks so clean, but I mean, how do you keep that shit clean?
It's easy. It's as easy to keep clean as it's not fabric, so it's not going to be absorbing anything. Actually, what I do notice this, and I noticed this in my old Model X with the cream seats, is like what stains them more than anything is actually the jeans, the dyes in your jeans. Like I like dark jeans or black jeans. That actually stains them more than anything else that you can put on it. Because I have no idea how to get that off. I don't even know how to get that off. Right, when it did that, only to become the Tesla. I did. I think they were regretting the price that they had put this vehicle up for, because I'm like, you didn't even realize that it drives itself, and this was a $10,000 to $15,000 option. I was like, wow.
Should have listened to us 2 weeks ago. We talked about the Model X, the used ones, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they're saying, how can you tell if it has FSD without sitting in it? Oh, well, that was something that I just asked them. I said, I wanted to send me a picture of the software screen, and it'll tell you if it has the self-driving computer on it. So I had asked them before I even went down there. So you're paying more for an older model. No, this is not a Model Y. This is a Model X. So it's the higher caliber vehicle with slightly more miles, and it's 2 years older. But in terms of the utility, if you've ever driven a Model X, I don't think you can drive a Model Y afterwards. It is just even with things like the air suspension, it's a much more comfortable ride. Everything about the vehicle is just more utilitarian, and I think it just looks better. It's more aggressive. I just missed it, and I've been going for almost a year without it. And I'm like, oh, look, I love the Model Y. It's a great car, but when you got a big family, you want to carry people around, I think that's the best for me. So the prices are mismatched on a lot of these used vehicles. So
dude, if you share the screen, dude, because this is one that I was looking at last night after I saw your fucking picture. You see what you're doing to me?
Yeah,
dude, this thing here's a 22 with
64,000, dude, that's insane. Well, you can get a new one for like 80 now, but
it's just crazy.
Go to just go on like Car Gurus, or like even Carvana has some good deals. Carvana, actually, depending on where you live, because I kind of looked at them all, but there's some good deals out there.
Yeah,
I agree. There's so many people that Warren talks about them discontinuing it. How it's I don't know, it's not a popular vehicle. Cybertruck is actually eating into it. They're not selling that many units. To me, this is the perfect vehicle. If you're a dude and you got a family, you like to go fast, you need space, you want speed, you want style, good range, comfortable ride, great sound system. Like,
really cool.
What does this car not do? What does this car not do well? You tell me what this car doesn't do well. And with the exception of like Plaid S, I'm not afraid of any other vehicle on the road.
Yeah.
Hopefully the refresh Model Y maybe resembles a Model X, or there's an option like for a 7-seater or something like that.
They do have the third row seating in some of the Model Ys, and
there's so many.
That new Model Y is going to sell fucking a lot of units, dude. New Model Y is going to sell a lot of units. Look, and even if they keep the units the same, if you just look at the benefits in COGS as a result of the new Model 3, Tesla's going to just going to report some sick gross margins as a result of the efficiencies that they're gaining with these. So.
Yeah, because my wife wants me to get a new car for my birthday, and I've been
X, dude.
Yeah, because this is what she got. I'm driving her old Beamer. I traded in my Jaguar for the Porsche, and I only drive the Porsche whenever.
I saw you posting. You said you were going to keep the Porsche and then keep the bike and give her what's she driving?
Yeah, so she drives the Porsche. I drive her old BMW. And
What
then
Porsche
I drive
do you
the
have?
motorcycle. Mostly I drive the motorcycle unless the weather sucks.
Mhm.
But ultimately, we want to get something else that she really likes as well, because she'll upgrade to that one, and then I'll get stuck with the Porsche. But I'm
Bro,
like, dude, if
test
I
drive-
find
just go test drive a model. Just go test drive a Model X, or even actually go test drive a Cybertruck. I drove the two motor one, and I was really impressed with that vehicle.
yeah, that 7,500.
Really impressed.
We don't qualify for that fucking credit, dude. That's the only.
You make too much money. Oh, there you go. Here, the crowd has spoken. The crowd has spoken. You need to buy a 2005 Chrysler Pacifica.
No,
Yeah.
dude, I'll show you one. This isn't a Tesla, but dude, have y'all seen this right here? This thing is thick, dude. It's a
Yes.
It's your largest position, right?
Yeah.
How many
No,
people in the chat? How many people in the chat? Tesla is your largest position. Tesla and Bitcoin for me, they kind of go back and forth. But what were you sharing, TJ?
I'm trying to find this new SUV that I think is going to give.
You're gonna
It's
pull
gonna-
up that VW bus.
No,
Or the
it's
Tesla
going to be.
Robovan. He's like, I want a Robovan. I want a Robovan.
I don't work well under pressure electronically, dude.
Easy way to show the Lamborghini.
You're right.
Have changeover in the background, dude. It's a Cadillac SUV electric. It's like 100.
Oh, you the lyric? The
No,
lyric?
this thing is like 125 grand, dude. It's
Oh, the lyric's like
it's like
300.
3 letters, but I can't Google under pressure, bro.
Wait, TJ, what Porsche you have?
I have the it's called the Panamera.
They're nice.
Oh, okay.
I put it on the Twitter. You wanna do the little deal, Carlos?
Where? I don't see.
The
Give it in
little
the chat?
present, share.
You're not
This
sharing
guy-
anything.
This guy right here. Here we
There you go. Yeah, this is the post that I responded to.
Yeah, I did a little thing like, what's your
What's your
whip?
whip? Post the whip.
So that's what my wife drives, and then, but if you go to the front, this is what she has me driving, bro. The chick BMW. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man, you're driving the Uber.
Did me dirty, bro.
You're driving the Uber. You're driving the.
And then so I spent all my time on the little motorcycle instead, because well, I mean, it's just more fun. What I need to be spending my time is all those weights in the back. You see that's what I need to be spending my time. But anyway, so I'm gonna get a new vehicle most likely for my birthday, because
Just test drive. Just do me a favor before you buy anything else. Just go test drive an X and test drive the Plaid. Test drive that Plaid, bro. And I think it'll be hard to go buy something else after you test drive that. I'm serious. Or maybe for you, you'll like the Model S. If you don't need the space, then get the Model S, because it's
just S. But we do have aspirations of a Bambino, so I do think that the S is
little
X is it's getting us there to the Brady Bunch mentality, you know.
Yeah, buy it. When I bought my house, I bought like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in like 2017, and I was like a single guy, and the chick who sold me the house was like, when the universe, she said, the universe doesn't like empty spaces, doesn't like voids. So when you buy this house, you're gonna see that you'll have the wife and the kids and stuff to fill it. And she was right. Yeah. And speaking of which, I gotta go play doctor. I have a boo-boo, a very important patient that I need to go take care of, and take care of this boo-boo. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Hit like and subscribe if you already haven't. Please do me a favor and follow TJ the Wheel Deal, Couch Investor, and Heinz. You were waiting all stream to do that.
Don't worry, Neil. You're safe.
I
Right?
can't
You're
believe
safe,
it.
man. You're
I
good.
can't believe how many people have been red-pilled.
Honestly,
hit
just
subscribe.
one thing that I am thankful for, guys, is that we had a result. Because I think
the result on the day after. I didn't expect
not having a result would have been devastating for the market, dude. So I'm just so thankful that the people have spoken, and it's abundantly clear versus like, I don't think there's anybody arguing over results and all this other shit. One plug on Palantir and why I think they could be worth $100 a share if they could devise an open scoring system for elections that we can all agree that there's no way to hack it or anything. Put a $250 billion market cap on that.
Seriously. If anyone could do
That's
that would be
something
Carp would figure that out.
We need it. Like, we're playing a very important game and nobody knows the fucking. You know, like I just think it's just absolutely ridiculous. And Palantir could fix it, bro. I think they can. I don't know. I feel
It'll
like
be
they
interesting to see the next couple of months. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter. Have a good rest of your week and go touch grass.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, we ended it. That was a good one. That was fun.